Hey viewers, George here to do another impressional talking about this game, Girl Fighter. It's not good. Girl Fighter is essentially a fighting game with female characters. What is wrong with this game? How do you fuck this up? So, first off, let me just preference all this by saying there are only 8 characters. You heard me right, folks. There are only 8 characters in this fighting game. Now, if this was a hand-drawn kind of fighting game, sort of like Skullgirl was, then I'd be more forgiving about its limited amount of roster and its characters, because it does take a lot more time, and it costs a hell of a lot more to hand-draw every single character's animations and whatnot. But no, this isn't a 3D model, and in fact it looks like they tried to do cel shading, but didn't do it good. Like maybe it was like a cheaper version of cel shading, but there's 3D models. Those are cheaper to make, especially compared to hand-drawn, models. So the fact that there's only 8 characters is a little disappointing, and it's even more disappointing when I say this: none of them are different. None of them play differently at all. I played as the first 3 characters that you unlock. Oh, I have to tell you this part. This is the best part. You have to unlock every single character. You start off with 1 character, and you have to unlock the rest as you play through the game. Doesn't that sound fun? You can have your friends and your buddies come over and you're like, hey, let's buy this random fighting game that just came out. And you play it, and there's only the 1 character to play as. How fun does that sound to you, huh? How frickety-dickety fun does that sound? It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. I don't mind if maybe 4 characters you had to begin with, and you have to unlock the other 4. That's fine, because you at least have some choice and variety to play with. But you only get 1 character at the beginning. What? Why? And even with the amount of characters that they have, like I said before, none of them feel fucking different whatsoever. Like I said, I played through 3 characters for this first impression, and none of them play different from what I could tell. And it should be rather apparent when someone or a character plays differently. That's what makes fighting games really good, is when you have characters that feel different. They have their weaks, their strengths, their pros or cons. Their speeds feel different, their moves look different, their animations are different. I mean, sure, their throws look different, but who gives a shit if their throws look different when none of the characters play differently? Every time I was playing this game, I felt like I was playing as the same freaking character over and over. It didn't feel any different. And what made it even worse is this was the most boring freaking game I've ever played, especially this year. Fighting games should at least present a challenge to the player. That is the point of a fighting game. It's fine if the first character you face is easy. You're just trying to figure out the controls, whatever. But as it goes on, because there are 9 different stages within the arcade mode when you play it, I should feel a challenge slowly with every character, like I'm being challenged. You don't feel challenged whatsoever. You will breeze through this game, no goddamn problem. And if you play this game for an hour, you will unlock every single character. Great fun, isn't it? I was playing this game on normal, and I didn't feel challenged at all. So I went up the next difficulty, still didn't feel challenged at all. It's just, this game was so half-assed. It was, I can't even comprehend how fucking stupid this game is. This is probably the most easiest freaking fighting game I have ever played. And there's a lot of fighting games. There's a lot of really, really easy ones. This is the easiest one by far. Because you don't feel challenged at all. Even when you get to the final battle, where you should this should be the hardest thing, and they even throw in this thing where, like, the final character has a special ability going on them all the time. You never feel like you're unable to do it, because you will. Hell, I play through so many of these rounds without using any of these special abilities, which is one of the things that makes you. It seems like you should be wanting to use them when you can, which are these PSI abilities, and you can choose which one you want to attach to your character. But I've gone through so many rounds without ever having to use it. In fact, the rare times I use it is just to make the fight go over sooner, because it gets so boring when you're playing it. None of the environments are interesting, or the story for that matter that revolves around it. So the story of the game, from what very, very, very little I can piece together, is essentially there's this corporation called the Foundation, and they have these 8 female fighters in a virtual world. I don't know why. That doesn't tell you. And the characters are fighting each other. I don't know why. They just do. And in the end, you get taken out of the virtual world. What the hell? Like, when you first play, basically, in between each of the matches, this voice, I don't know who the voice is, you find out it's this character called Chrome, but the character, when you fight Chrome, doesn't sound anything like this voice, so I don't fucking know. But the character's, like, basically trying to add things to the character, like trying to give reason to why the character's there, but you never feel like you actually know any of the characters that you play as, because they don't tell you anything about... No, I'm sorry, they do tell you this little bit first match. You know, their real name, I think their age was up there, and some other bullshit that I don't give a shit about. And that's all you get, and then you get these little things like, do you know where your father went? Do you know what that serum was that you drank? Why do you blind yourself from the truth? It's like, I don't know! Tell me why! Game, tell me why I care about these characters. Oh wait, they do tell you. You have to read freaking bio entries on each of the characters that you have to buy, which means you have to play the game in order to unlock these contents. It's like, I'm not gonna read through shit that you should be just telling me about these characters. Why not at the character select screen put like a little blurb of text that I might read about the character I'm going to play as, like, this character's name was Warchild because all the characters known was War. Oh, that was so freaking easy. Why couldn't you just do that? And the story is so half-assed. It doesn't feel interchangeable between any of the characters. I mean, the end result is just this mysterious Chrome voice going, if you defeat all the other contendants and me, I will let you free and give you the powers to use in the real world. It's like all the characters have the same ambitions, they just want to use the powers. I mean, one of the characters clearly is trying to find their father from what little I've gathered from her. The other character is wanted because they're a serial killer. And apparently the FBI or something is like waiting for her wherever she is outside of the virtual reality. I don't know how PSI powers are going to really help her. I think she wants to be free from, you know, conviction. And then the other character, fuck hell if I know what the hell is wrong with this character. Just you don't feel attached to any of the characters. None of them feel identifiable or different. It's not like in Street Fighter or Tekken, where you recognize these characters so well because they seem different, they feel different, they play differently, they have different styles to them. Not one character feels the same, for the most part. But here, all of them feel the same. None of them feel different. And with that said, none of the character designs are all that appealing. It's like, the one thing they went was like, okay, we're going to do a fighting game. We're going to have all female characters. So, what's the one thing that's going to be really attractive about all these characters? We're going to have them very cladly dressed and practically have their breasts fall out because that's attractive. We're going to have them wear little to no clothing. And, yeah, that's going to show the game pretty well. What do you think, folks? That's basically it. That's the whole thought process. All the characters barely have, like, any clothing going to them. It's like they all should be down at Hooters or something like that. Why isn't there some more realistic, more interesting characters in there? It's possible. Skullgirls did it pretty goddamn well, and much, much better. Speaking of Skullgirls, this game costs the exact same amount as Skullgirls. It's $15. You're spending $15 on a really shitty fighting game when you could be spending the $15 on a much, much better game. The music in the game is really annoying. It ranges from techno music to dubstep music. Now, I'm not huge into the dubstep music and all that stuff, but I think we can safely all agree that it does not fit a fighting game, let alone this fighting game. Because it just doesn't feel... Like, the music should at least keep me involved in it. The music does not keep me involved. It, in fact, makes me want to mute my TV. So now we're going to talk about the main feature of any fighting game. It's, of course, the multiplayer. Now, you do have Loco. You do have local multiplayer, which is good. At least they did something right. It's only for 2 people, obviously. That's standard shit. And then, of course, you have online with ranked and public matches. Here's my major problem, though. No one fucking plays this game. Like, at all. Clearly, I don't have to be standing here telling you the game's bad, because apparently you guys already know it sucks. No one plays online. I tried multiple times trying to find someone, both public and ranked matches, and I couldn't find anyone. It's like, no matches found. You want to host a game? Why would I want to host a game if there's no one on? Just tell me that no one's playing this game. I'm fine with that knowledge. So that's a huge loss. Obviously, there's no community playing this game, which means you're left playing with the computers. And I've already stated quite clearly that the computers are piss easy, no matter which difficulty you put them on. So, what are we left with? A really shitty fighting game. I mean, everything that is wrong with what you could do that is wrong with fighting games, they've done amazingly, and they slapped a freaking price tag on it of $15, and I should actually also know, I was in the midst of a fight, and an achievement had popped up. Clearly I did something right. And about, let's say 20 seconds before the achievement appeared, and 20 seconds after the achievement appeared, and during the achievement's appearance on my screen, the game was lagging out like crazy. I've played games where it starts lagging out because of the achievement thing coming up, but not to this extent. I mean, this made the game almost this made the game like practically unplayable. Save for the fact that computers are piss easy, so I mean, like, you never feel threatened by, like, anything, even if the game slows down to incredibly slow speeds of, like, this. This whole thing is wrong. I don't think I need to say a whole lot more than what I've said. Because clearly, like I said, there's no one playing this game. Online, at least. Because they probably feel too ashamed to play it online. So clearly there's no audience for this. Why the fuck did they make this game? I don't even remember which company made this game. Like, their logo was just that minuscule. I don't even think it came up. Like, seriously, I recorded from the moment I went into the game, and I don't remember seeing their logo anywhere. I think even the company's ashamed of this game. And they should be, because it is a god-awful fighting game with no recognizable characters, uninteresting environments, limited amount of characters, no details, no story, thinly... Like, the way that they lay the story out, it's like they give you questions that you think there would be answers to, but they just leave you with more questions. It's like, okay, sure, she's looking for her father. Where is her father? Oh, the Foundation has her father. No, the Foundation doesn't have her father. What serum? Why did you bring a serum to this? Why is she blindfolded? Thanks for telling me nothing, game. There's just so much wrong with this game, and it's unbelievable that something like this exists. I mean, even the worst games aren't this bad. I mean, Excitebike 64, I fucking hated that game. That was probably one of the worst games I'd ever reviewed, and even that is better than Girl Fighter. Put that in perspective. A game that I ranted about endlessly, and I hate with a passion because it ruined Excitebike, which was a fantastic game. Girl Fighter is worse than Excitebike 64. It is worse than Beats. It is worse than Mojo. Like, it's one of the worst games I've ever... It's the worst game I think I've ever played. Yeah, I'm confident with saying that. Girl Fighter is the worst game I've ever played because it honestly feels like they went out and did everything they could possibly do wrong. You know, even with the other worst game that is out there, they didn't have the ambition or the want or the need to make a bad game. They just made a game and hoped for the best. Or something like that. This feels like they purposely made the game shitty as hell. Like, I wouldn't be even surprised if the multiplayer doesn't even work. And all it is, they just show you that, no one's playing this game online, because they don't want that feature. They pretend that feature's there, only for you to be disappointed. Like, that's what it feels like, is just this game's trying to be bad. And it's doing a good job. It does everything wrong. Like, this is just such a bad game. Don't fucking buy it. Anyways, with all that said, until next time, please play better games. Don't buy Girl Fighter. And until next time, keep on gaming.